Alright guys, it's Jahlon, and today I'm bringing back Ash's Real Talk. For those of you not familiar with this product, Ash's Real Talk is a podcast with a twist. On a normal podcast, all the guests are live, they're all hearing what each other are saying, they can make points and counterpoints, they can refute, they can rebuttal. On Ash's Real Talk, I ask a question, content creators send in their answer. In fact, they don't get to see each other's footage until the video goes live. This week's question: should Intrepid Studios delay the NDA drop? Let's roll the footage and see what everybody has to say.
Should Intrepid lift the visual NDA? Yeah, of course. Why shouldn't they? Why ask? Why even talk about it? What's the worst that's going to happen? We see some bugs, some glitches, some disconnects, all in a game within its infancy? Who cares? Seriously, who cares? We've all know people who have thrown hundreds of dollars pre-ordering AAA games that have completely flopped. Hundreds of dollars at early access games that seem to never quite make it to launch. So who cares about the criticisms of a game still actively being developed that's been very open about being in an alpha? Far worse would be to delay it again, because even the server issues that caused the first delay, there's nothing to say that 3 months down the road a combat patch doesn't completely obliterate them again. So go ahead, don't live in fear, because the alternative is that it's delayed again, and well, Ashes becomes a game with something to hide. Intrepid becomes a studio that lied about open development, and all that's going to do is add fuel to the fire that this is a game that is a scam, that is just looking to collect on people's money from a Kickstarter and its cosmetic shop. It is far better for Ashes to go ahead and have no NDA so that we can start seeing what's happening under the hood. We can start providing feedback now when we can still see changes happen.
Hi, my name is Mykah Maelstrom, and I personally believe it's just too soon to lift the visual NDA for Ashes of Creation. The problem you run into is that people are accepting of things like bugs and glitches and a lack of polish. People can understand those things as like, this is just, it's an alpha. But no matter how much you tell people it's an alpha and things are a work in progress, if your core systems are not yet ready, they're going to look at those and they're going to see things like the combat system that's currently being overhauled. They're going to see that the node system isn't fully implemented yet. They're going to see that the corruption system isn't fully implemented yet. They're going to see all of these things and they're just going to write the game off and say, well, guess it's not the game for me. It doesn't look very good, and they're going to move on. Now, will you get a lot of those people back once those systems are fully implemented? Absolutely. But when lifting the visual NDA, you have to consider your most casual audiences. And unfortunately, the game in its current state just isn't ready to be shown unfiltered to those audiences.
Hey guys, I'm Lark Wvll. Thanks to Jahlon for hosting this conversation. So whether or not they can fix the AI controller, hopefully, assuming they can, they should be able to really have a strong alpha as long as the game stability issues have been ironed out by then. And that would be best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it's still an issue and they might have to modify or frame the conversation in certain ways. In my mind, whether that's just doing siege testing, removing all the mobs from the game, limiting what the players have access to even more than what's currently available in the pre-alpha testing, things along those lines. And hopefully that's not the case. Again, hopefully the issues are ironed out and the pressure is on. They're moving full steam ahead and they're trying as hard as they can to present the best alpha experience to get the best quality testing performed come July 9th. But again, assuming worst case scenario, what I would just say is maybe the Intrepid team should just put a lot of hefty disclaimers out there, engage with the community. Don't apologize, but just announce, here's where we're at, here's where we're going. We appreciate your testing, and here's our next steps.
Yes, simply yes. In regards to the question, should Intrepid Studio delay the NDA drop for Alpha 1 or any NDA drop for the game? Yes, delay it as much as you can. If it would be up to me, I would delay it all the way till beta. Simple reason. There is no benefit to the development of the game when it comes to this NDA drop. It's not like NDA is gone. All of a sudden, people are getting hired left and right. Bugs get instantly fixed, and now they develop twice as fast. NDAs are not magical seals that you rip off, and now all the good stuff comes out. The only people that would benefit from the NDA lift right now, or the NDA drop, would be content creators, because they will use the hype around the Ashes generated by Lazy Peon and Asmongold to further their own brand. That is not necessarily a good thing, because I can guarantee you a lot of the content creators or the people that would be making content are ill-informed or don't know what they're talking about, and that is not a good thing, because you only get to show the public your game unfiltered to the eyes of others. You get to do that only once. And people will take what they see now at face value. I know you keep screaming Alpha 1, you yell it to the sky, you write it everywhere, but still, hundreds of thousands of people will probably see what you show them through other content creators and will say, yeah, they're showing it now, this might be close to finish. I do not like what I see. So yes, delay the NDA drop.
So for a first attempt at rebooting this, I am really pleased at the diversity of opinions. In fact, it almost sounds like I don't have to be the bad guy. For those of you that come to my Twitch show, you do know that I have said I believe they need to delay the NDA drop. A lot of good things people said today. Biggest one is, what's the worst that can happen? That is a very double-edged sword. Glad somebody brought it up. And I like the answer that came up. One of the worst things that could happen is people are going to write the game off. And then that becomes a challenge of, can you win them back? So I think right now, in the next week, that's something Intrepid needs to consider. How is this going to showcase? How many people are we going to lose? How many people are we going to gain? And how many of those people that we lose can we win back? I like the idea of including hefty disclaimers. In fact, I would say it almost might be a smart idea for the marketing team to get with the art department and create some sort of standardized in-development logo for streamers and content creators to use. Obviously, you can't make it mandatory, but if they gave me a logo I could put on my stream and every streamer was using it, it would be sort of a Ashes brand thing. It would provide consistency. And I don't see why somebody wouldn't want to use that. And it would also sort of help identify those content creators who are making sure to share the message appropriately. I love the idea of don't apologize. Here is where we are. Here is where we want to be. We've told you this is a developmental alpha. There's going to be bugs. There's going to be hiccups. We're not going to apologize for them because we're still iterating. I do agree that showing it off right now may give people the impression that the game is close to launch. Intrepid Studios doesn't want to lay out a milestone roadmap because that's just dangerous, because then they miss dates, and then people like me beat them up because they miss dates, because they've said they don't want to give dates unless they're 100% sure they're going to hit them. I think it's important that we temper expectations so people don't suddenly think that, oh, Alpha 1's in 2021, game is launching in 2022. I don't think anybody believes the game is launching until at least 2023 at the soonest. I love the idea that the only people who benefit right now from dropping the NDA is the content creator core, the people who want to jump on the Ashes bandwagon, build their own personal brands. I think it's very important that we highlight the taking down the NDA doesn't suddenly cause a development speed up. Development is going to go at the speed of development, regardless if the NDA is there or not. There are a lot of residuals for taking down the NDA, but those don't help the development side for the Ashes of Creation product. Those help the business side of Intrepid Studios. So that's it for Ashes Real Talk today, guys. If anybody wants to join in, wants to contribute, make sure you leave me a comment, get with me on Discord. This isn't exclusive to the creators you saw today. Sometimes you'll see these same people, sometimes you won't. Sometimes it'll be a different question. Well, it'll always be a different question. So next week, we're going to try to do a different question. I want to see how we're going to press forward with this product. Leave a comment, leave a like, ring the bell, do all those things, and we will see you next time.
I say, Sprocket, we've reached the end of another video. Time to thank the sponsors. Yes, that will do, that will do. Shall we pop off for a spot of tea?